All right, a little quick review today on these rational graphs and how to kind of get all these answers over here before we move on to limits. Going to factor and simplify this thing. Here's a graph of what that looks like. You can punch it on Desmos, see the same thing. Several things that I'm noticing here. You got a vertical asymptote, you got a horizontal asymptote, you got a hole in the graph right here. So we're going to kind of see where we get all that stuff. All right, let's factor this thing. So I have a numerator and a denominator. The denominator is the easy one. It's a difference of squares. It would be x plus 3, x minus 3. And the top one is factorable. And you could use your little area method, your little box. You could, however you go about doing that. I know that 3 is prime, so it's got to be 3x and x, and then I can kind of guess and check. Negative 3, so plus 1, negative 3 maybe? Hopefully that works. I wrote in pen. Max. 3x. Yeah, I think that works. So I can zap those two things. Pew, pew. Right, Summer? 3x plus 1, and then x plus 3. And when I zap something like this, that means that that's the x value of the hole. So I'm going to have a hole at x equals 3. Look there, x equals 3. There's a hole in the graph. If I want to find the exact coordinate of that, I would take 3 and plug it in right here. So I would say y equals 3 times 3 plus 1 over 3 plus 3. That is 9 plus 1 is 10 over 6. That is 5 over 3. I think it's 1.66666. That looks about right. So the hole is at 3, 1.6, infinitely repeating like that. Domain of this thing. Domain is how far left and how far right the graph goes. And range is, boom, how far down does it go to how far up does it go? So range, or domain, excuse me, domain, how far left does that graph go? Negative infinity. And it goes all the way from negative infinity until, looks like it's going to be getting really, really close to negative 3. Union. Going to pick it back up at negative 3 and go all the way to positive infinity. Range, boom. How far down does the graph go? Negative infinity. How far up does it go? It looks like it's going to stop at 3 right there. Union. Pick it up at 3 and go all the way to positive infinity. Vertical asymptote, asymptote that's going vertically, that would be at x equals negative 3. Another way to go about, if I wasn't given this graph, it would be where the denominator equals 0. Okay, so I get that, where that equals 0. So I can say x plus 3 equals 0. Horizontal asymptote is if these have the same coefficient, it's the top coefficient, or the same degree, excuse me. It's the top coefficient over the bottom coefficient. So it's 3 over 1 since these have the same degree. So that would be y equals 3. All right, next one. We've got to factor these things again. All right, up top, I've got two numbers to add to give me 4 and multiply to give me 3. That would be plus 3 and plus 1. On the bottom, I have two numbers that will add together to give me 7 and multiply to give me 12. That would be plus 3 and plus 4. All right, I can pew pew. That would be x plus 1 over x plus 4. All right, so zap those things. So that means that's going to be my x coordinate for the hole on the graph. X equals negative 3. Okay, and if I want to find the y coordinate, I'm going to plug in -3. -3 plus 1, -3 plus 4. That would be -2 over 1, -2. So the coordinate of the whole is going to be -3, -2. There it is, -3, -2 right there. Okay. While I'm here, we've got the vertical asymptote right here, where the denominator equals 0. That would be x equals -4. And these have the same degree, so I take the coefficients in front of that, would be 1 over 1. That means y equals 1. So horizontal asymptote would be y equals 1. Yep. And then a vertical asymptote would be x equals -4. Yep. All right. Domain. How far left is the graph going to go? -infinity. And it goes all the way to -4 union -4 positive infinity. And range, boom. How far down does the graph go? -infinity all the way up to 1. And then from 1 to positive infinity. All right, last one down here. All right, gotta factor this thing. I'm noticing both these have a greatest common factor. So up top, I can factor out, what? Let's do a -x and then make this x plus 4. And then factor out an x right here. That would make this x plus 2. All right, oh, look. Pew, pew. That means what? X equals 0 will be the coordinate of the whole, yeah, look at there. X equals 0. And if I want to find the y coordinate, I'd say y equals 0 plus 4, 0 plus 2. That would be 2. -2. I forgot this negative up here, people. -2. Okay, so coordinate would be 0, -2. And let's look at this vertical asymptote. So where the denominator equals 0, that would make that x equals -2. These have the same, I never put it equals over here, so this would be negative x plus 4 and x plus 2. That's what messed me up right there. Excuses. Challenge your excuses, children. Horizontal asymptote. Since these have the same coefficient, or same degree, excuse me, I'm going to take the coefficients. That would be -1 over 1. So that would be y equals -1. That means that the domain is going to be how far left? -infinity all the way to -2. Union, -2 to positive infinity. And then the range, how far down does it go? -infinity all the way up to -1. And then from -1 to positive infinity.